but it's just like I'm down to earth, but
Comedy can be humbling, though, right? Like, for me, definitely is like...
No, I blame it on the crowd. If I ain't funny, I'm like, shit, they was tripping.
They was tripping. What was wrong?
What's wrong with y'all? I'm funny, motherfucker. I just killed the show yesterday.
Yeah.
I blame it on them, but no, it can be humbling sometimes.
Down. Ooh, I'm eating brunch with my people though. The homie Dyke just cooked up a feast and we bout to eat it, bro. Fucked around and has to mix the lobster with the poutine. Daddy is rolling blue dream. Them boys got down a routine. It's Naptown culture. Cooking 7 courses. Had to pass the torch and now I'm grabbing second portion. So sit back, relax, grab a drink and a smoke. It's Harder Brunch on the way and get prepared for the jokes. Whoa.
Harder Brunch. Yeah.
Hi, and welcome to the Harder Brunch Podcast. I'm your host, Dyke Michaels. With me, as always, my co-host, Steady's Jay McKee.
Slappy Pappy went.
On the ones, the twos, the wheels of steel, the sauce boss of Indianapolis, and the last woke dragon. Give it up for Zach Rohn, everybody.
Happy New Year.
He's getting that $1 million.
He's practicing.
I've never heard anyone do blackface in a voice before.
Yeah, see a lot of things today.
It's Thad face.
And a very special guest with us in studio. First time on the program, comedian Ambur James. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me. It's been so fun so far.
You're very welcome. Both of us have wanted. You're one of the names that always gets tossed around, and I'm like, yeah, I need to reach out to her. We need to get. I felt like it was gonna
tossed around like in a. We both agreed. Like we weren't fighting over. Like don't have her over here.
Yeah. I don't know about that. No,
he didn't want you over here.
I was here. Honestly, I was like, I was looking at your social media, and I was like, she looks busy. There's a picture of her on a camel. She's on tour. Like she's opened up for Phase on Love. Like she may not have time for brunch.
I always try to make time for everybody. So
I think I tried to hit you up one time. Like, I think she's literally in Dubai right now, so we can't even try to get her. So
yeah.
I think the first time I remember seeing you, I was I think it was at a show. I was one of the Laughing Out the Gate shows. And I had gone up. It was like one of my first or second times there. And I remember going up and I remember seeing all these women come in. They were all dressed up. And I was like, I got to bring it. Like there's some cute women in here. Like, you got to be funny. And like, I went up and I just bombed. So,
Did you bomb that day?
It was like a 15-minute spot too. It wasn't just a bomb, but it was just like, I got a couple laughs, and then just was like, they just weren't into it. And I was just like...
I remembered you being funny there, though.
And then I realized you got up, and I was like, oh, she's one of the comics. And I was like, oh, she's the headliner. And then you blew the roof off of the joint. And I was just like, oh, the person I was trying to look cool in front of was the headliner. And she just watched me eat a dick on stage.
But see, I'm not the type that's in there. I was probably laughing. If nobody laughed, I'm gonna laugh because I'm a fan of comedy anyway. So I don't go like with the audience, like one person to set the tone, and so won't nobody laugh. I'll be the only one like, ah!
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I like comedy. So yeah, I was probably laughing at you, Dyke.
That is not me. I will if it's so bad and no one's laughing, then that's when I start laughing because I'm realizing like the situation at the moment.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Thad won't even laugh. He'll just make a face and look at me like, you know what you're doing right now. You know what's happening.
I mean, I watched you at Upstairs Helium, and you said this joke that you usually don't do, and no one. It was silent. It was like everybody was like doing a remembrance like for like 9/11 or something like that. Like they're like, we don't talk right now. I just start busting up laughing. I was like, this is so awkward.
Yes, I've seen that too. I've done that actually to where, yeah. I know exactly what you mean. It's like super funny to me.
Yeah.
Have you? We went to Memphis last year. We've never been, and we were trying to like kind of double dip. Like we got on some bar show, and then there was like a mic afterwards, and they let us go early so we could hit this mic up. And we go in, and it's the mic is in this pizzeria. It's a black owned pizzeria. We go in, and we're like, okay. And we just came from a very white show, right? And then so we go to this pizzeria, and we're like, okay, this is a different vibe. And I like come in, and everyone's kind of hanging out in this front room partying, and I was like, okay, this looks cool. And then I look in the comedy room, and it's this giant room. They got a DJ, they got somebody up on stage, 2 other people in this giant room. Nobody's watching the comedy.
Oh,
and I'm just like, so we just kind of come in and dap everyone up, and they're like, oh, we'll get you guys on next. We're like, no, cool. We don't need to go up there. We don't need to
get somebody else to do it.
Yeah, like, we're good just to hang out. They're like, no, you guys came all the way from Indiana. We'll get you on. I'm like, and then call me right up the stage, just terrified to say my name. He's like, your next comic. He's a dyke. All right.
He said, "Give it up for this dyke."
Oh yeah, that's what he said. Give it up for this dyke. There was 2 black women in the audience. They looked at me like, "Excuse me." And I just bombed the whole time. There's a part where I do an act out of it's stupid, but like like when you're trying to commit to something stupid and nobody's on board with it,
he's pantomiming a sex act when no one's been on board the whole time. He looks over at me like, well, looks like this part of the bit's gonna come up. I was like, kind of like, is he gonna do it?
Is that your one? Because if you bombing, you have to go to that one joke that kills.
Well, yeah. it killed something.
We had a whole conversation with our eyes. I was like, should I do this? And then he was like, are you going to?
It's now or never, baby.
No, but it was great. Then afterwards, it was the only time they paid us. They paid us for the and then
you got paid pretty good for like how many people were in there.
Yeah, and I think we got some drinks and everything. And there was like a lot of hospitality, and it was just like, this is the best.
It's a good black open mic room when they were offering weed juice from the jump. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like where everybody's like, did you try that weed juice? Like, no, I didn't get any. Like, oh, you should try it. And everybody's like, get that weed juice now.
Yeah, hand me that on the rocks.
We about out. Are you sure you don't want some? I'm like, what the heck?
How has your experience been? Because I started off doing these kind of like all hipster rooms downtown, and then I was doing that for like half a year, and then I was like, man, I want to do something different. I was like, I want to see different faces. I'm seeing the same, highly educated, predominantly white, 25-year-old crowd. I was like, that's not me at all. I'm not educated. No, but like I was like, and I asked Nate Robinson. I was like, where's the black rooms at? And he sent me up to 38th Street, and like, so that was
38th Street. That's definitely where the black rooms are at.
And I went out to like that. Like I walked into one of the laughing out the gate, and I remember the first time I walked in, I got patted down. I was like, all right, this is different than what I'm used to. Like, all right,
that's funny.
But then as soon as I walked in there, it was like I was like at a family reunion of like like some distant cousins I hadn't seen in a while, and they were just like, oh, come on in here. Oh, you're one of the comedians, and so much more welcoming. Every time I've gone into any black room, whether it be in this city or in Memphis or anywhere, it's always more welcoming, like for comedy. I don't know. That's been my experience anyway.
Well, my experience with different rooms, I look safe. And I look inviting, like my name is safe, Amber. Yeah. So I'm welcome anywhere.
Yeah.
They like, come on, So my experience really don't change. I'm real conscious if I'm doing white rooms. That's the only thing that changes. Not the atmosphere, but I do. I change with the rooms that I go in. I don't want to say the N-word in front of a white crowd. I'm not about to tell no chicken and watermelon jokes. I'm just not about to shuck and jive at the white room. So I could say I change, and I don't like who I am there because I'm more conscious, than just natural. In the black rooms, I'm like, hey, you know. But there, I just want to make sure that I'm not selling out and shucking and jiving like I've seen comedians do, you know, and it's always cringy to me. That's just not my style. And they wouldn't know the difference. They probably would be entertained either way. Yeah, it's just me.
Sure.
And so
there's that little thing inside you that I have jokes that have hit in a certain way in a certain room, and I'm like, well, I don't like They laughed, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I like the
Like,
laughter.
you laughing a little too hard, motherfuckers. Yeah. So yeah, it's just me in the different rooms. I did a show in Arizona last year. That was I've been to Arizona a few times doing rooms, but this one was particularly a lot of Hispanics. And I liked it. You know, it wasn't too much different from what doing a black room. It was slightly different, but the vibe was there, you know, to where I was a little nervous at first because I'm like, you know, are they gonna be able to relate to what I'm talking about? But it makes you more conscious of the jokes you tell, and you got to kind of read the room, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I can't tell jokes. I was at the Jazz Kitchen last week. 2 shows. One of the shows had a lot of white people there, and then the second show had a lot of black people there. But a lady came up to me and she was like, "You were so funny. I just didn't get all the jokes."
What?
Yeah, I was like,
was
"Which one? Which one didn't you get, girl?"
She's like, I just don't get black people.
Yeah, so I'm like, you know, but that did make me conscious. I'm like, okay, mental note of that, because I don't want to tell jokes that go over people's head. You know what I mean? It's not that I'm not that deep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's just like reading the room. That's all.
Yeah. So you said you started comedy 2010. Is this correct?
Yeah.
And before comedy, what were you doing?
I've been doing hair all my life, really. All my life. So, yeah, I'm a cosmetologist for over 30 years.
Can you kind of walk us through like that first time you performed and the dream that you talked about upstairs?
Yeah, so my aunt, she asked me to do a set at her, I don't know if it was a fundraiser or if it was a showcase, but to the point where I've always been humorous, so everybody would always say, you know, you missed your calling. Like, literally, my clients, we would have a good time. I wanted to charge them admission because we have a good time, you know, when I'm doing their hair. And they would always say, girl, you know, you're so funny, you missed your calling. And my aunt was one of the ones who was like, come and do this showcase for her. And I was like, I'm not a comedian, though. Like, what do I say? What do I do? Or whatever. And I was thinking about it too much. But I ended up having a dream about me being on stage, jokes that I told, and it was so vivid. I could hear the crowd, I could hear the laughter and everything, and I woke up and I remembered the jokes. And so when I did the showcase, these were the jokes I told, and it was just like maybe 5 to 7 minutes. And I remember like zoning out, like the dream had came to life. So I was zoning out telling the jokes. I wasn't really in the moment or there. But when I got done and wrapped it up, that's my time sort of thing, people was cracking up. And I was just looking around like, are y'all laughing at me? Are y'all laughing, you know? And they was like, you was funny.
Yeah.
You was so funny. I was like, okay, cool. It went well. And somebody in the audience at that room was like, can you come and do, you know, my thing? And I was like, yeah, you know, because once you pop your cherry, you know, then it's the thing now. Once you get over that first stage fright, it's a wrap after that. So,
Is that what they call it in comedy, popping your cherry?
yeah, that's what I call it.
I never heard of
Y'all
that.
can have that.
We can have that?
Yeah. But
Let's do it. Let's pop our cherries.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I don't know what it means.
it's
I like the ring of it, though.
Oh, so you know when you're a female, and
I
you're,
do. I
okay.
was trying to play ignorant.
Because I was definitely going to speak you, baby. But
You look concerned too, like, oh, let me put you something.
That never took sex ed.
I
So,
know. My parents wouldn't let me.
No, that's a clinical term, popping a cherry. If you go to the gynecologist.
Oh, is it?
I'm kidding.
I thought it was.
we don't let them watch rated R movies. Nothing.
Oh shoot! But yeah. So once I got over that initial thing, it was just like I was on stages. Like from every time I got on the stage, it was another opportunity to get on another one. So.
Now, did you mic a lot, or did you just start going to shows directly and just?
So it was hosting is how I ended up getting to a point to where I started getting gigs. Getting on shows or whatever.
Yeah.
Hosting. I still to this day I do a lot of hosting.
That's great.
But I love hosting the best because it's not.
You got a lot of good host energy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You bring the room up.
Yeah.
I bring the room down. I go the other way.
Well, you shouldn't be brandishing a gun. I told you that doesn't work.
Listen up, motherfucker.
I thought it was New Year's.
Y'all gonna laugh or not?
Yeah, I'm from the West Side. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, you gotta have energy. And I always had an infectious energy. You come around me, you know it's gonna be a good time. So that's the energy I bring to the stage when I'm hosting. Like, are y'all here to laugh or what y'all came to do? So, just hosting a lot of stuff. I hosted an open mic for like 3 years, and it was very intimate. I don't know about y'all, but I'm more comfortable. Like, I can do a stadium before. It's easier to me than an intimate setting because you can look at the people and actually see their faces and see their expression.
6 people looking at you like, say something funny.
You're like, yeah. But so that really put my boots on hosting an open mic for those times, and then it helped me hone my material. After that, I hosted Straight Up Stupid, which is an event here, a monthly comedy show here. I hosted that for a couple of years. Materialized from that. You know what I'm saying? Just talking shit and freestyling, feeding off energy. And Ike, he's one of my biggest supporters and whatever. He was like, what you said up there, keep that. Because I'm just talking, and I would forget what I say. You said something about the baby mama keep that. So a lot of my material to this day came from me just hosting.
Yeah, that's great. And that's a great way to like practice the craft and sharpen those things up.
It is.
Man, what about you were talking about like the small intimate crowds? One of my things that would like I always feel like black women like this is my barometer, like they're the toughest nut to crack for me because black women always look at me like they know every bad thing I've ever done. Like a black woman looks straight through your soul like,
facts.
You were nasty in 3rd grade. We know what you did.
Like, look him up. Yeah. Check him out. Check what is in my case.
I always exist somewhere where it's like the worst thing you could be in a black room is corny. And the best thing you can be is stupid. If a black person calls you stupid, is the highest compliment you could possibly get.
He's stupid.
So, like, anytime there's a room and there's like one black woman, then I just end up fixating on her until she laughs. Yeah. And then I can have a good time. Like, once I got her on board, I'm like, okay, we're good.
You know what? That is so interesting that you said that because that was my arch nemesis when I first started was women. I got men in the bag, but y'all go up there with that glitter on and lipstick and dolled up and they like, what you about to sing? Sing something like they don't know what I'm about to do, comedy or what you got to say, So I've been fortunate enough over the years to appeal to men and women. Now I know how to get their ass, but they definitely was one of the ones that are the toughest. Y'all hear that, ladies?
Well, I feel like now at this point you're an icon in the Circle City.
Okay,
yeah,
I'll take icon.
Yeah, people they know who you are. The streets know who you are.
Thank you.
People be speaking about Ambur all the time.
We did have a brunch today. We like to talk about the brunch just a little bit. It was New Year's food was the theme, obviously.
Good luck foods.
Good luck. Good luck in 2023. So we started off with grapes, it's a Spanish tradition to eat 12 grapes as quickly as possible at the stroke of midnight, which just to me always sounds like a real choking hazard. So I was like, you can have 12 grapes, but and when you ate the 12 grapes, it's a pretty healthy snack. I mean,
it is
12 grapes back to back,
refreshing, and I like grapes.
I feel like I have a little bit more luck after digesting these too. Like after
you only ate 7 of them.
I got an extra Mario Man.
I took 5 after when you were not looking.
You can't do them separately. That's bad luck.
I almost wanted to be like, there's nothing else. Like that was the brunch.
Yeah, oops all fruit.
Yeah. Oh, did you smash all 12 already? Nothing else is coming out. And then Zach You did a very interesting dish.
So I looked up this thing. It was basically they're glazed pretzels. So it's like a German thing. They would have like a sweet dough pretzel. And then when the German immigrants came to America, they covered it with powdered sugar and icing. And
Americanized
sprinkles.
it. Yeah.
Those were very good.
Yeah, I like those.
I enjoyed them more than I thought I would.
I had to put it down because I could just hear myself getting fatter when I was eating them. I was like, no.
Yeah, donut pretzel's not something I need to introduce into my lexicon. Right?
Yeah, I'm like,
put a burger in there.
Yeah.
This is a slippery slope right here. Let me just pinch off of it.
I'd say it almost overshadowed Dyke's grapes.
That's what I try to do. I don't try to make it good. I just want to shit on what Dyke makes.
Yeah.
Like, if I can,
What did you do to prepare those grapes?
I washed them real good.
They
and
didn't
then
look washed.
I put them on a chilled plate.
You didn't wash those grapes at all, did you?
Did you notice that plate was cold?
It was
Oh.
cold.
It
was
I did.
cold, yeah.
It was a chilled
I did.
plate.
You did extra with that.
They felt flown in. That's
Yeah.
grapes were delicious.
These aren't just any grapes.
Yeah. They came straight from Spain overnight. And then we had the soup, which was the Venezuelan, and I'm blanking on the name. I'll have to look it up on the break.
You didn't decide to go with soup jumu, the Haitian soup?
Sancocho? What is it? Read it. Oh, read it.
This soup is called
The short rib.
the short rib.
Yeah, Sancocho. Sorry. Short rib Sancocho, which normally it's like an oxtail. I didn't find any oxtail, so I used short rib. Slow cooked it overnight. And, man, I love braising meat overnight in a crock pot because I could just set it up, as and then forget it, and it's like perfect the next morning. Yeah, it had all kinds of vegetables. You put yuca, it's thickened with yuca. So you put all this yuca in it like last night, and then it's just gone in the morning. It just dissolves into the soup.
Pretty tasty.
Jerk chicken. Here, you can keep this as a souvenir of your time there.
We meant to put those on the table, but
Yeah, I forgot to give them
they
out.
never got
I
there.
like it. This
And then the foods from the South that are always kind of associated with good luck are black-eyed peas, greens, cornbread. And then I was like, well, that's a meal right there. So just threw a protein on it and did a little jerk chicken.
Yeah, that
Spicy.
cornbread. That cornbread tastes like yellow cake. I will say that. It was very good.
Thank you. And then crepes a la Dyke.
And translated that, crepes a la Dyke in French is crepes and the Dyke.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the translation.
I think the French word is bulldagger.
Oh, thank you.
My grandma was a French immigrant, and growing up on New Year's Day, she would always make crêpe Suzette, which is like an orange and butter sauce.
It was so delicious.
I thought everyone ate that on New Year's Day my whole life.
What?
And I was just like, yeah, you guys eat the orange pancakes on New Year's Day? But what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that was just my grandma that made those. And then I also realized she made them a different, because usually they're made with like Grand Marnier, is like orange liqueurs. They're like cooked off. But my grandma never had booze in the house. She would just use frozen orange juice concentrate, because it was syrupy in such a way it was kind of mimic the liqueur stuff. And it was like a weird hack that like, even though she was from France, she didn't cook it necessarily in like the traditional French way or whatever. So as a tribute to her, I make that once a year for my grandma. And that was the New Year Who Dis menu.
New Year, who this?
Man, we were talking about you travel a lot, and you were talking about, I think Thad brought it up earlier about being in Dubai.
Yeah.
And you were talking a little, I heard a little bit of the conversation, but it sounded wild. Like it's a completely man-made city. You were saying? I didn't know that.
It's a man-made country. Is it UAE? Yeah, it's a country. Like, I don't even know where I was at. Yeah.
What made you decide to go there?
Popular destinations. I hate hearing about stuff. Like, you ever watch a movie and everybody's watched the movie and you haven't, and they start talking about it, and you like, well, let me go see, because I don't want to be a part of the conversation.
Yeah.
So it was more or less that. Wasn't really a desire to go. Just I want to be able to relate and join some conversations. But yeah, So I went.
Is there a lot of affordable things in Dubai? Because I feel like it's all over $5,000.
Well, so our money is more than theirs. I think it's like a quarter. Our dollar is their quarter or something. So it's really not expensive like that. You know what I mean? Like,
you mean our quarter's their dollar?
Yes. No.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's I don't know how it goes.
Yeah.
But our money's worth more than their money. So it would seem expensive.
Take that, Dubai. All right. Sorry.
So yeah. So $1 goes a long way in Dubai for us.
Did you perform or watch any comedy when you were over there?
Nah, that was the last thing on my mind. I just was trying to go on vacation.
Yeah. I always wonder what comedy's like in other countries.
I know, right? Yeah, but everybody has the same experiences. That's what I feel like. Everybody grew up in the same household. Traditions change, but for the most part, dating, sex, men, women, everything's the same. So when you talk about experiences and it's most stuff is universal, I feel like.
So when you travel, is comedy like not a big you're like, I'm just on vacation, I'm not trying to, because like when I travel I always try to find a stage somewhere and get up.
Yeah, like if the opportunity presents itself, sure enough, I'm gonna get on stage. But if I know somebody there and I know, so I'll do that if I know somebody there. Am I searching out those in the States? Maybe not so much out of the country. Yeah.
Well, I would be scared because I mean some countries it could be illegal to do certain jokes or something like that. Like they're like listened to people being like in China or something. Like you can't say anything like against the government.
Oh,
like just stuff you wouldn't even think of here. The president sucks. They're like, well, you're going to a gulag now.
But you know what? In some countries, like continents, even because I've been over to Europe a few times and anything goes. I saw an ad where's a butt naked lady on the side of the bus. Like sex and all this. Like they're much more they're less taboo than we are as far as stuff like that. So anything goes in Europe. But you're right, other countries like China, probably even Dubai, I doubt if you can cuss.
Did you have to have your head covered and stuff like that when you're over there? Or?
No, like I said, it's a melting pot over there. So it's no religion, it's no belief system because you have so many different people there and it's new. So everybody's an immigrant. You can't force like the country's religion or practices, but they make it available to you if you choose to. Now, there is another one that's neighboring that you can go over to. It's called the Holy Land. We didn't get to make it there. It's called is it Al Qaeda? Maybe. I don't know, but
I wouldn't go there.
But it's what was it? It's Dubai, huh?
Is it Qatar?
No, it's not Qatar. Abu Dhabi, that's what it is. So Abu Dhabi is the neighbor, and so it is. They call it the Holy Land, so it's definitely all Muslim. So you do have to wear the garb there.
Yeah,
but we didn't make it to that. Yeah,
interesting. All right. Well, hey, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with more Ambur James. Gen Z can't stop raving about the Harder Brunch Patreon.
Patreon.com/Harder Brunch slaps.
No cap, the Harder Brunch Podcast is bussin' on God.
Move over, Boomer. Gen Z's here to talk to you about the Harder Brunch Patreon.
Harder Brunch Podcast on Patreon, $3 a month, low-key a steal.
The Harder Brunch Podcast deadass has me bricked up every day.
Listen to these all totally real testimonials.
No, I'm getting paid to do this, don't worry. Yeah. No, you think I do this for free? No.
The Harder Brunch Podcast deadass slaps.
Sound younger!
The Harder Brunch Podcast deadass slaps.
Just go to patreon.com/Harder Brunch.
The Patreon After Brunch Podcast hits different. That shit makes you feel shit.
The Harder Brunch Podcast fucks.
Hi, welcome back to the program. We're talking with comedian Ambur James, And one of the things I wanted to ask you about was you just went on tour with Faison Love. Mm-hmm. What led up to that? What got that going? How was that experience?
So it's funny that you said that because I just got through ranting about how people think shit is easy, but it really was. No,
everyone thinks stuff just comes to me. So anyway, this thing just came to me.
But that did though. But I do a lot of manifestation too. So so he had a show here. Ike is always calling me to pull up. And me and Ike, we got a relationship to where if he asks me to do something, I just do it, because he's one of the people that really believe in me, So it's like some people who I know that push me and believe in me, I never want to let them down. So whenever they ask me to do something, I'm pulling up. So I pulled up. Ike introduced us. I'm sure he probably thought I was cute. So, but ended up, I was managed by this guy named Eric Young at the time. And Eric had called me and was like, "Oh, is that Faison? Tell him you one of mine." So I said, you know Eric Young or whatever. He was like, "Oh, yeah, that's my little brother." He was like, "Tell him I'm going to take you out on the road." So it was just a matter of knowing somebody connections.
Yeah.
And, Ike put me in a position to be able to talk to him. He knew my manager at the time, and it just connected from there.
And let's not undersell the fact that you're very funny. So, none of this is not done without you being a tremendous comic.
Thank you. But, he hadn't even heard my set. So, yeah. But he,
That's great.
he probably...
Well, I'm glad.
But no, he probably...
None of this matters because...
What a setup.
No, I'm sure he felt like if I had a manager that I was probably talented.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What was the experience like of actually doing it?
It was super dope. I'm so glad.
Are these big rooms, small rooms?
They're clubs.
Okay.
So, and we do weekends. So it's like 5 or 6 shows a weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful and blessed to be able to this be my first on the road. Well, it wasn't my first on the road experience because I went out on a few dates with Kerwin Claiborne, but it wasn't a continuous, So I'm blessed that this is the person that I got linked with because Faison is very, very good to his people that come on the road with him. We get paid good. He let us sell products,
Oh, that's what's up.
And he's a very generous person. So it's dope. And he knows everybody. So you be remiss not to take his connections and cultivate relationships with the people he introduced you to. I've met some very interesting people who I'm still cool with to this day, formed close bonds with.
Yeah.
And so just by being on the road and meeting these people and going to cities and getting exposed to fans, I hate to say fans, but fans that didn't know who I was. And now, they follow me, through social media and whatnot. So.
What all cities did you go to?
We went to Dallas, Houston, Oakland, Rochester, New York, Jackson, Mississippi, Atlanta. Yeah, a lot of places.
Big slice of it. I love Atlanta.
Shout out.
Let me not say that on the podcast.
Uh-oh.
I'm
just not a fan.
I will say this: we did not.
Can you cut that out?
We did.
Yeah.
We didn't do. Well, we did do it. We did the Black Festival when we were there.
Yes.
But we kind of got added at the last minute.
Oh, I will say I'm not a fan of Atlanta before this. I just don't care for Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah.
I only knew about what I saw on TV, so I thought it was all like The Hood, and I thought it was all like The Hood and The Walking Dead. So what I would
No.
the parts we hung out at least were okay.
Yeah.
We popped into Laughing Skull. That was one of my favorite things because I'm an introvert. If I don't have I kind of do the things I'm supposed to be doing. People are like, how can you do comedy if you're shy? And I'm like, well, because I'm doing some. I'm talking. Everyone else is quiet.
Yeah.
I'm doing a presentation.
Not quiet. They're not supposed to be quiet.
But they're supposed to be paying attention to you. But like if I go into a room full of like 8 people I don't know, I'm like, I don't know what to say. You know, like, but like Thad's the one that like he's the opposite. Like he can go in and just start talking to people and stuff. So we go to the Laughing Skull, and he's like, let's try to get back. We're not on the show. No, he's like, let's try to get back into the green room. And I was like, look, I'll be honest with you. I don't have the balls to just walk back there, but if you walk back there, I will follow you. And he was like, okay. And then he walked up, said something to the door guy. I have no idea. Then the door guy's opening the door for him. I'm like, only that. Like, I don't. There's no way I'd walk up to a door guy and he's opening the door for me.
That's funny.
The next thing I know, we're just standing back in the green room, and Dad's like, yeah, we're gonna be performing here, you know, in June and blah blah. I was like, we're performing here in June. He goes, no, not at all.
I like how you get down, man. I ain't gonna cap.
Oh, hey, you know what? Like, what does it say? Ask and the door shall be open.
Yeah. Well, you manifested because we did perform there. in June.
We did.
No, did y'all?
Yeah. We
Oh, see.
I mean, I wasn't lying.
Yes.
made it happen. I mean, you were lying at the time.
At the time, you were lying.
What is it called? Live station. That's what I do. Just tell lies and become the truth. That's all right. That was a fun. I mean, I'm sorry that you don't like. I wish you had like a story about Atlanta, but like I'm scared because like I feel like
I have several stories about Atlanta. I've been going to Atlanta for many years. It's just never been like, I should move here. I love Atlanta. I've never felt like that.
But have you ever done comedy there?
Yeah, a few times.
She was like, "There's reasons why I don't like Atlanta."
No, it ain't one particular reason. It's just.
Have you ever worked with Miss Pat before?
Excuse me.
Uh-oh.
No.
Oh wow.
She's like, I'm not allowed to talk about it.
No. Have I worked with Miss Pat before? I know we've been in the same room together a few times. I can't remember if we've been on the same show before. Maybe not. I don't know. She knows who I am. I know who she is. Yeah.
That's like the first thing I always think about when I think about Atlanta. I think about her getting shot in the titty.
Yeah.
In Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's so Atlanta.
I don't know why, but I'm trying to I'm convinced I want to change your mind about Atlanta.
Why?
I don't know. I just want
I love so many other cities.
Right.
I don't have to like Atlanta.
I feel like if you went to a Harder Brunch tour and you we did a show there in Atlanta, we would make it a lot of fun.
Listen, I got family in Atlanta.
Shout out Daddy.
I just was in Atlanta. Oh yeah, we did it. I got family in Atlanta. I've been a billion times. I do hair, so been to the Bronner Brothers convention. I've been going to Atlanta for years.
Okay, so what's your favorite city then? Let's get off Atlanta for a second.
My favorite state is probably Texas. No, my favorite city in the whole world. I'm trying to get there now. I want to go for Mardi Gras. I have invitations to a couple of rooms there. New Orleans.
Yeah,
that's my favorite.
That's my favorite too.
City ever. But I love Texas too. Dallas, Houston.
Let me know next time you're going, because I have a list of hey, hit these places up, and then I always want the people to tell me what their favorite places were when they were down there, because I always want to go to new places.
In New Orleans?
Every time I go down.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I have a friend there who runs the Black Girls Giggle
nice.
Giggle circuit down there, so I'll probably be going sooner than later.
Have you ever gone out on a fan boat?
What is that?
It's one of the boats they go out on the swamps or whatever, and you can see the alligators and stuff like that.
No, and I've been to New Orleans 1,000,000 times, and I never leave the French Quarter.
Really?
I think I left one year because a friend of mine, she's a poet, and she had some gigs there. Yeah. So we did go to a Bra Ripley area, but for the most part, I never leave the French Quarters. I have a good time right where I'm at. Yeah.
You like the people watching?
I usually go for the Essence Festival. Yeah.
What's the Essence Festival?
It's a music festival that happens every July the 4th weekend. They tried to switch it to Houston one year after Katrina, but ended up going right back to New Orleans. It's the dopest experience ever. If y'all ever get a chance to go, it's every year 4th of July weekend. I just was there last year. Yeah.
Do you perform there, or do you just go for fun?
I go for fun. Yeah, I went to a few comedy shows there last year because I have some friends who had shows there, and I was just in a green room and just around so much excellence. So it did motivate me to, want to be there this year for the festival.
So is that one of like the big four? Because I know so in New Orleans they basically have. Bourbon Street, French Quarter is like popping year round. But then obviously there's Mardi Gras. Then they have Jazz Fest, which is equally as big as, almost as big or bigger as Mardi Gras. And they have Southern Decadence, which is like gay Mardi Gras.
Okay.
And then the Essence Festival. So they have these big things kind of quarterly, for already touristy, city.
Oh, yeah, they have the Bayou Bowl, too, which is our Circle City classic.
Oh, yeah. But I was amazed just going to, because I went, the very first time I went was around Christmas time. And so we were walking around Bourbon Street, on Christmas Eve, and I was like, oh, this is pretty chill. And then the next day, like the day after Christmas, it was just back to business as normal. And I was like, oh, man, they're doing this every day out here.
Oh, yeah.
It's a party every day.
It's a party every day.
Have you ever seen, I don't know if they have one on Bourbon Street, but I know in Key West, there's this bar that it's just their security camera outside, and they just have a live feed on their website. So, any night you could just go, and it's just, all these people, just, plowing down, and there's, a party every night. I think Bourbon Street needs one of those.
Yeah.
See some interesting stuff.
I swear. Yeah, because, their clubs are open 24 hours.
Oh, yeah.
On Bourbon, yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. We should do a harder brunch thing there, Dyke.
Yeah, I mean, it may be the last episode we did.
As you know, we weren't canceled. But we're getting one last one off.
But before you go.
And they have a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of blackface is acceptable there, correct?
I don't know if it's... no,
you think you made that up? Sir.
Well, we have talked a lot about how race relations are a little bit different, and a lot of kind of imagery and stuff that would be kind of shocking up here is kind of baked into the culture a little bit. You'll go into a knick-knack store and see little black toys
because
and stuff like that. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's their culture. It's not really blackface. It's more or less costumes. They love costumes, and it's real festive there. So,
the Zulu
and plus voodoo.
They had
Zulu,
they had the Zulu parade where there was a time where it was for only black people, and then they allowed white people to do it, but they had to be
in blackface.
Painted. I don't think it was called blackface, like you said, but they had to be painted to be in it. Because I remember there was a local business owner up here who posted a picture of him, and people were like, "What? Are you just posting your blackface pictures?" And he was like, "No, I'm from New Orleans. This is my culture." And he got all mad, defend it. And it's just like, dude, just maybe a little explanation before you just start posting something like that.
I would love to read the book of when it pushed over when the white people could start being in the parade and stuff like that, because there had to be a lot of them.
The first guy,
the first time, no, it's just for black. And then second year, and the fifth year, they're like, all right, there's enough white people that are really wanting to do this.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see it
It was probably peppered in at first, and then now it's the takeover.
Yeah, let's just let Johnny do it once.
He did come to the barbecue.
He's been to every single barbecue.
Oh shoot,
that's hilarious. Those gators, they'll come right up to the boat and stuff. I
have not. I said, and I keep every time I go.
Yeah,
and I've probably been about 7 times. I said I'm gonna do the tour, but I just get so caught up. That ain't no tour. I never get to do it.
I think we are gonna try to do a Harder Brunch thing down there. I always end up going with a group of people, and I always have an agenda, a food agenda, and so I'm always like, you guys can do whatever you want.
That's the place.
I'm gonna hit this, and this, and
that's the place to have a food agenda.
Yeah, people end up usually following me
to the food.
Now, if you do go to New Orleans and you don't follow Dyke's advice, don't tell him, because what he'll do is he'll have you on the podcast and lecture you for an hour. I watched him do it.
What?
Oh yeah. He told Gabby, he said, I sent you with a list and everything, and pretty much dressed her down, then told her how to do comedy. It was an amazing podcast.
And that's the thing you kind of look forward to on the Patreon After Brunch podcast.
If you want to hear mansplaining done right, ladies, listen to it.
Now, to be fair, we had the two gentlemen on the next week, and I mansplained to them as well.
Oh, is that conversation? Like, I have to mansplain. Oh, that's funny. Now I get why he did that.
Equal opportunity mansplaining.
He's trying to equal it out.
Yeah, to not get canceled.
Yeah. No, that's all right.
No, like anytime people go to New Orleans, I'll send them a text and I'll be like, eat here, eat here, eat here. And I can tell if they did, because if they did, they'll send me back a thank you. Oh my God, thank you so much for that recommendation. And if I don't hear anything back, I'm like, they didn't go.
That's funny. They didn't go.
They didn't go.
They ain't go. They ate street meat.
Have fun on your done of vacation.
But you don't like trying that much foods anyways. Is that correct?
I don't.
Here's what I'm going to judge you. This is, can you play that theme music?
Better people, though.
Thad judges guest. Can you play that theme music? I'm guessing, like, if there was like a camping trip, like, you are not a camper. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm just going to guess though. You're not a camper. You don't like dirt. Can't get dirt on your fingernails. And you have to ask, like, what's in this before you try a lot of stuff.
You're totally wrong.
Oh, well, all right.
This not to say that I'm a camper or not a camper. I'm a yes person, so I will try camping.
Okay.
If I like it, then I'll be a camper.
I could see you going glamping, like glamour camping.
Yeah.
You know,
I would
AI
go
camping.
regular camping if I went with a big, strong, super tough guy, that could wrestle bears and shit. If I felt safe,
My doctor says I'm not allowed to wrestle bears anymore. I've tried. He said it's dangerous. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, if it was like a group of people and I wouldn't like guaranteed to be the first one killed, yeah, I go. But and if I liked it, I'll do it again. But I'm not like catching fish with my bare hands or no shit like that. No.
I was right.
And then what was the second one?
Oh, the picky eating.
You asked like what's in this? Yeah.
If it's pork, because I don't eat pork at all. So
okay.
Yeah, if I'll ask if what's in it if it's suspect as far as pork or something like that. But I don't eat a lot of things. Like, I'm basic as they come. Give me a steak, baked potato. I eat to live. I don't really live to eat. Yeah.
Did you ever work in the food industry at all?
I have one time. I've used to, but I wasn't like in the kitchen or nothing. I was when I was 18, I was pregnant with my son. I worked at Ryan's.
Oh, Ryan's Steakhouse.
Yeah, I was a hostess. So
nice.
Is that famous?
Which one?
Shadley.
Yep.
The one.
Well, I'm from the West Side, so we had a West Side one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ryan's. Does it still exist?
So I'll tell you what. I just went to Illinois to do comedy, and we were coming back, and we were looking for some place to eat, and we pulled off. And I saw the sign for Ryan, and I was like, "Holy shit, they still have Ryan's here!" I was like, "Let's go!"
Okay.
And then we roll, and it was just an old abandoned Ryan's. I was so disheartened. I made Gwen like cross the street to go over to it.
Let's steal some chicken for old time's sake.
Here's your abandoned Ryan's.
No, you had about 7 chicken wings in your purse or pocket when you left Ryan.
It was a buffet. It was a buffet. Like, they had steak and stuff, but no one ever got the steak.
I did.
Really?
See, I got the steak.
Get that buffet.
Because we used to, when you work there, you get like 50% off. Now, not working there, I got the buffet. But but working there, yeah, hook me up.
I have a scar on my leg from, they had like a little brick, kind of flower bed kind of thing, and I was walking on it as a little kid, and I fell and I tore my leg open.
Oh shoot!
Yeah.
Oh, it was. Why didn't it get the name didn't get changed to Dyke Michaels?
No, this was back in the day. They were just like, well, you'll learn better next time.
Get up, get your ass up.
I don't even think it got stitched. I think they just put a Band-Aid on it.
Oh,
But,
wow.
like, yeah, I got some scars.
So what's better, Ryan's or Golden Corral? Be honest.
Ryan's. Golden Corral's not shit compared to Ryan's.
Watch your mouth.
I promise you. You missed out.
No one comes in my home and talks bad about Golden Corral.
I cannot believe you are a fan of Golden Corral.
Golden Corral is probably the top of the line food
With the public Chocolate fountain?
Was a public chocolate fountain, period.
Say you never had Ryan's without saying you never had Ryan's.
Yeah, I haven't had Ryan's. But
Wow.
Golden Corral's the cream of the crop. I'm just kidding. I
Wait, is there? I mean, we're looking at a website. Is there still one in existence? No? This is the old
This is just their
website.
mock website. Remember us?
I don't know if they're the Ryan's. That's like Shoney's. Like you see them all in the South.
You know what? I saw when I was a kid here in Indianapolis on the west side. I was at a show. My mom used to take me to Shoney's every once in a while, and we were at Shoney's, and a bus pulled up. And why was it Public Enemy?
Shut up.
Yeah, and they
Not
came
Public Enemy was eating at Shoney's.
in the 90s.
Okay.
And they pulled up Flavor Flav, everything, and
I don't know.
like,
That just seemed like a Ponderosa type of group to me.
and I was a little kid. I went up and was like, I didn't even know who they were, but I was getting their autograph. I was like, oh, they got a bus outside. Like,
This nigga got on a big ass clock. He got to be somebody.
Yeah, the clock, everything.
Everything was sticky at Shoney's, like the floor, the booth, the silverware. They give you clean silverware to be sticky already.
Yeah. I have not eaten at Shoney's, and I know it's like a famous place. Jimmy Fallon even came and ate at Shoney's here.
Yeah, I mean it was a breakfast
Yeah.
buffet,
Like a brunchy type of.
but like bootleg.
What's better, Steerin or Shoney's? Be honest.
Steerin, 100%.
There you
Steerin's
go.
a local place.
What is that? I try not to eat at buffet. I think I elevated past buffets in my life.
No, yeah,
That's probably
buffets are
good.
gross.
Yeah.
Here, I'll be honest with you. The last time I went to Golden Corral, I don't know if I'm allowed back in there. I was like depressed. I was like, I'm gonna eat as much as I can. I just moved to the city of Indianapolis, and I was like, let's just go fat and eat by yourself. So don't go to a buffet by yourself. That's wrong. That's the sin number one. I ate so much
And sad too. Like maybe not
Yeah.
be sad when you go.
It was kind of sad. There was I'm not shaming anything, but there were like a lot of bigger people there. I remember being in the line. People were guessing each other's weights. He's like, he said, brother, how much you weigh? 450. He just said it real quick. I'm like, this is wild. I got my food, and then afterwards, I felt sick. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I run out the door after I paid, and I threw up. And I felt so bad because people were walking in as I'm puking in the parking lot.
Is this based on a true story?
This is very true, 100%
Wow.
true.
Did they call your weight?
Huh?
Did they call your weight?
He's like, he was 450.
Is that what ruined it for you?
He's a cool 430 now.
But what disgusted me the most was the fact that people were like hearing me puke and then still walking. And
The fact that you hadn't quite ruined their day yet.
I was like, hey, this is a sign that there's
They're
a
walking
problem.
up over you.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it was gross. I'm like, I'm never doing this again.
I mean, there's something about because the buffet. Like I remember, like I thought COVID was gonna kill the buffet industry. Like
It should have.
Like, during
They just
COVID
put a shield over it, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
sheet set over the
There
food.
were certain things at the beginning of COVID where people were like, "Are we should." I remember people
Like
talking about like
shaking
shaking
hands.
hands. They're
Yeah.
like, "We're never going to shake
Or
hands."
change.
Yeah.
They're like, "That's disgusting." Yeah, change is disgusting. Buffets are disgusting.
Yeah.
And then the second, I don't think Florida ever closed their buffets. Florida's like, you pull this fucking Shoney's out of my cold dead hands.
I swore I would. Nobody better lay a hand on me after COVID. I'm like, get your goddamn hands off me. But now it's just like, hey!
Yeah.
I will say this. I like how, because there was this weird time, like, kind of right when people started going back on the stages where it was like, you know, you always shake the hands.
I
Like,
hate. That's the worst part.
everyone shakes hands. So we started doing this, but like now it's just like you just dap them up, and it's like
Man,
I like it a little bit
people-
better.
Yeah, after the show, like people like does not respect your boundaries. No shade, but
Yeah.
they want to be cheek to cheek with you at the picture. I'm like, oh, please, and you can't be. You know, you don't want to get canceled before you even get to where you're going. So it's just
Yeah.
like, you know, risking your health, your life, your lungs, all that shit.
I feel like you would be so much better talking to fans after. I'm so awkward. Like, I don't take compliments very well, and I've been working on it. So people are like, oh, that was funny. I'm like, I got one in me. I'm like, hey, thanks a lot. That's great. I'm glad you appreciate it, you know? And if they say anything else, I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here? Like, I don't know. I don't know what to.
No, I always just, you got to have a generic response, really.
Yeah.
I'm glad you had a good time. I'm glad you had a good time. That's all I say.
Do you ever have those compliments that go on too long and they start becoming a criticism? You know what I'm saying? Like people are like, "Hey, you were funny. You were really funny for a woman."
No, that's all the time. Like it to me, it's always like that because I always get compared to somebody. Oh, some more better watch out or Chip the shit. I'm like, damn, you just saw me, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's always.
Can't we all eat?
Yeah.
Have to be one or the other.
Yeah. So I get that all the time. I just, it's just whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I hate when people say humble because I hate that word so much, but it's really.
When people call you humble?
You can never call me humble. I'm not humble.
Amen. I like that.
I'm not humble, but it's just like I'm down to earth, but
Comedy can be humbling though, right? Like, for me, definitely is like.
No, I blame it on the crowd. If I ain't funny, I'm like, shit, they was tripping.
They was tripping. What was wrong?
What's wrong with y'all? I'm funny, motherfucker. I just killed the show yesterday.
Yeah.
I blame it on him, but. No, it can be humbling sometimes.
What was your worst?
Your whole career, like.
What was your worst bomb?
Oh shit! In Atlanta.
There we go. It's all coming together.
I knew it.
That is not why I did not like Atlanta. But
never going back
in Atlanta. That just reiterated why I can't stand the motherfuckers. But
we gotta name this episode Atlanta. back to Atlanta.
It's not Atlanta. But I was at a spot called BQE's, and it was so funny because all of us bombed except my homeboy Hot Sauce, and he was the last to perform. So all of us, I'm talking about, it's like you knew when your turn came. I'm talking about from the first comic, and this was all-star lineup, like. Not all-star, like, well known, but I know these comics. They funny as hell. Yeah, so it just was watching plane crash after plane crash, and you knew when your turn came up there, you like, you know what I'm saying? Just let me spit out what I got to spit out. And if you know Hot Sauce, I don't know if y'all know him. He's high energy.
Very good basketball player.
He's a funny-ass comic from St. Louis by way of Chicago, but
wrong guy.
He's very high energy, so even Hot Sauce had to go out there, tap dance, and play the spoons and all that stuff. But they cracked up at him. But I'm like, oh, y'all waited to the last. They must have been drinking. You know what I'm saying? They had to get drunk first or something. But yeah, so
I've had experiences like that where it's like Saving Private Ryan when they're storming Normandy and you just watching people ahead of you go out and get shot. And the next person goes and you're the third one. And you're like, well, I guess I'm gonna get shot here in a minute.
It came to no surprise, but definitely that spot was probably one of the worst.
What's 2023 look like for you?
So my plans for 2023 is I plan on, like I was saying, blogging more of my journey and taking a different approach to what I've been doing, just to see, really experimenting with some things, getting out of my comfort zone and just not relying on selfies and stuff for social media, but actually giving them some sustenance and doing a little more, putting more stuff out, and putting forth more effort into my craft than just the legwork, just the going out and just relying on that, because social media is a tool that you will really be remiss if you didn't use it to the full advantage, being a brand, being your own product and stuff like that. And I was really lazy on that, just I'm on there, you see me, but not really putting some sustenance into the into the content.
Yeah. Well, that's the crazy thing, and we've talked about it on here a bunch with different comics and stuff. It's like almost it's just assumed that you have to show up and be funny, right? Like it's just assumed that we're all like already funny comics,
Right.
And then the social media part of it is this whole other job,
Yeah.
where you're just like, you always have to make yourself famous from that just to get people to come to the comedy show.
To the show, yeah. But you want an organic following, because I've seen a lot of social media presence.
Sure.
They'll have a show and the butts are not
Nobody's
the math
coming.
they mathing,
Yeah.
And I'm not a goofy type of person.
Yeah.
I'm humorous, but not a yuck.
Yeah.
I never felt comfortable with talking to my phone trying to be funny, you know what I mean? I gotta have the energy, the exchange.
Yeah.
And so I knew I didn't want to go that route, the skits and all that. It's too awkward for me.
Yeah.
But I did realize that there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Sure.
I'm known for, a lot of people know me for my stage presence as far as the clothes I wear and my look. So I think there's probably an audience for that who probably want to know more. And somebody brought it to my attention, like, show us how you did your makeup, or, where'd you get that, and this and this and that. And I never really, really not cared, but I never really addressed that because I don't really wear outfits, and it come natural to me in the industry. When you're in the beauty industry,
Sure.
clothes, makeup, hair, that comes with it. So that's like second nature to me. But I didn't realize that people cared so much. A couple of friends of mine that do comedy, they was like, I never saw you wear an outfit twice. And I'm like, I didn't know people paid that much attention. You know what I'm saying? So I said, okay, well, now I know that people are paying attention, and maybe they are interested in these. I don't call them outfits. I call them ensembles, honey.
Yeah.
But so they was interested in my ensembles. I was like, well, that's a lane that maybe I can get in as far as entertainment, because people want to know how I put the look together. So I started doing these get ready with me's via TikTok, and just putting them out onto other platforms just to see, what that'll do.
Yeah.
And if that don't work, I'll think of something else,
It'd be interesting to see what you would do with an extreme makeover for Harder Brunch, or for.
Why'd you look at me like that? Because people ask me all the time, they're like, are you ever going to wear a different outfit? That's what they ask, really.
Yeah. Well, for women, there's a stigma attached to female comics that we ugly, that we don't be looking like shit, and, just a mess. But it don't have to be. I feel like if I'm an entertainer, then you got to entertain. And plus, you want to separate yourself for the crowd. I don't want to be able to go into the crowd and blend in. I need to separate myself. I got to feel like a star and look like a star in order to, have that come across, So that's what I say.
We're both shaking our head yes, and I was like thinking about everything I've worn on stage. Let me step it up.
But you have, like, male comics do it all the time. I got a homeboy, Sean Jones. He's sharp every time he hit the stage. Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer. So that works for y'all too, as far as your look.
I mean, and some people go on stage without a shirt on, like Bert Kreischer. I even dabbled with it. I've dabbled with it a couple times where I released my nipples in the public, and
you sound out like you let them free and you took their leash off.
I might have to try that.
Yeah, try that. I want to suggest it. I don't want to tell women what to do. Never mind.
Stay out of women's business. No.
Yeah. I want to say, but there is something cool too. Like, I like what you're saying about like the glamour and like looking good, but there is something cool too. Sometimes when you see someone come up in a hoodie and you're like, this guy's not shit, and then they just like blow your mind with their just presence. But my presence is my poster. That's what I said. That's how Naptown Chris said that. My presence is my poster.
That is facts.
This is the comedian he was talking about.
Oh,
he likes to
he's definitely up there with his.
That's his dimples.
Yeah.
That's his hair on his chest.
Okay.
I don't have enough hair on my chest to do that, so.
Thank
That's what makes him able to.
Well, it's a type of clothing.
Yeah, you don't want to just
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So
Wool
you're
and
saying
wool.
he's not really shirtless. He's,
See, to me, that's gimmicky.
Yeah, it is. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's locked into it now. But
Is he though?
I mean,
He might shock the world by putting a shirt on.
he might at this point. I mean, I'll tell you what. Like, I saw him at the Murat, and I had to go to the bathroom. And the first thing he does when he comes out with a shirt on, and he takes it off and throws it into the audience. Oh. And I could hear the pop, like all the way down the bathroom. I could hear it, and I was like, "Oh, there goes Bert's shirt." Like,
Wow. That's funny.
Starts off the show. Can you drop a beat for me there, Sauce Boss?
I'm gonna rap.
Ambur James, where can people find you and follow you on social media and keep up with everything that you're doing?
You can follow me on Instagram at comedy_bay1. And you can follow me on TikTok at Ambur James. You can find me everywhere at Ambur James. My name is spelled with a U, and it's James like LeBron. So Ambur James.
Nice. That is Jake.
Hey, you guys can follow me at Free the Nip Comedy. It is for everybody. It is not just inclusive. Yeah, and it's a non-for-profit. We're helping awareness for hunger for kids. Bye.
Zach Rome.
I'd like to plug my docu-series, How to Make $1 Million in 2023.
Yes.
I'm at Dyke Michael on all social media. I forgot to say this at the top of the hour, so for those of you that stuck around to the very end, we are building up steam for the Meat Cakes
Oh my gosh.
Invitational Season 3.
It's gonna be hot.
We this is gonna be our third year running where we have some of the best chefs in the city come and they make wedding cakes completely out of meat.
Oh,
These giant meat cakes.
I just got queasy.
I don't know if it'd be right up your alley based on what we've talked about today, but it's a very unique event that I mean, we had people come out from like Ohio last year just to check it out. They're like, "What do you guys do?"
I could check it out. I think I could check it out. Wedding cakes made out of meat.
Yeah. Meat Cake
that on my calendar.
Invitational Season 3. Yeah, there's a write-up we got in Indianapolis Monthly.
Oh.
This is the one Zach won the first year of that picture. Can you go back one?
That's
Yeah, that
interesting.
top left.
Oh, yeah, that one's...
Yeah.
That's
a giant... He threw a curveball because he made a crab cake.
which is
So
smart.
that whole thing is a crab cake the size of a hubcap.
Okay.
And then had a bunch of like salmon roses and all kinds of fun stuff
That's
on it.
very creative.
But yeah, we'll get all the ticket information out. We're gonna be promoing this all month. But those of you who heard it here first, get ready. It's gonna be coming February 26th at Tinker House Events. Thank you guys so much. And we'll see you next time. Bye bye.